what are the basic emotions? Now, let me just say this. I don't necessarily believe that there's literally basic emotions that, cannot be broken down into further pieces, basic in the way that like an element is basic. What's a good place to understand emotions in a basic sense? Now, how many of you have seen this, The Feelings Wheel, which was developed by Gloria Wilcox? These are great. They're very helpful. I've used them before. I still point couples to them at times. But here's what I want to say. If you're just starting learning emotions, if you're just starting trying to expand your emotional capacity and skill, this is not the place to start, because if you're like me, you look at that and you feel overwhelmed. So many choices there. I could get stuck looking at that thing. Well, wait a minute. Am I depressed or am I lonely? Wait, when do I go from depressed to inferior? Or when do I go from insecure to embarrassed? And actually, I don't even see that connection or whatever. Okay. So these are helpful. There are other versions of this kind of thing. You've seen the charts with, all the faces in this, 30 faces or whatever. That's fun, well and good and everything like that. But that's not the place to start in learning emotions. When you learn a language, I've tried to learn several languages. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school. I had to take Greek and Hebrew in seminary, and then in my doctoral program, even some Latin. Lots of languages. Let me tell you what you don't do. You don't start with a vocabulary list that's 120 words long. They give you maybe 10 words, right? Your verbs are going to have one tense. You're going to start out with present tense verbs. Everything you say is in the present tense at first, because you're just learning. Well, shades of emotion, that could be, that isn't a perfect metaphor, but it's, that's like the tenses of the verbs. Okay. It's very complicated. And so when you're starting to learn emotions, what I coach people to do is start with 10 basic emotions. Now, joy, love, passion or anticipation, surprise, fear, anger, pain, guilt, shame, disgust. These are in no particular order. Don't make up anything about the order. They are just the order in which they came from my head when I made this chart. It is my belief that every single emotion that you feel could fit underneath one of these 10 headings of emotion. For example, frustration would be low intensity anger. So you've got anger on a continuum, and it goes from irritated, agitated, frustrated, all the way to irate, rageful. So there's a range, right? Or love. You could go from saying, I really like. You could even do that. That's actually an emotion of love. It's a low level love. I have you're saying there's a delight there, right? I really like that. All the way to I adore, right? I'm infatuated by, and so that's more intense, but it would all be on that love spectrum. You could look at joy. Peaceful might be an experience of joy. Serene, okay, all the way to, like I said earlier, elated, ecstatic, exuberant. And what I encourage you to do, if you are really serious about strengthening your capacity emotionally, is start out by mastering these 10.